It's time for Living Your Purpose, a motivational and inspirational podcast with Peter and Joyce Nielsen.
Hey everybody, welcome to Living Your Purpose podcast. I'm Peter Nielsen with my lovely wife Joyce, and we're just excited to be here. We're outside enjoying nature. This is our workplace for the summer, doing our podcast and even filming some of our stuff for social media as well as for television. I hope that each and every one of you are doing great wherever you are, whether you're on the West Coast, the East Coast, my friends up in Canada, whether you're listening on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, or watching us on YouTube, welcome. Today's topic is, I feel, a good topic that I've never talked about on national radio. Really haven't gotten into too much of it on television. So I'm excited, and I think it's a great topic. And share with our listeners and our viewers on what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, it's all about the importance of rest and in between exercises and overtraining.
Yeah, and so many people, I always say this is something that if you got to know me, you'll hear me say, but a lot of times when a person starts working out, their mind is doing 1,000 and their body's doing 10. And that's when you could get in trouble, and that's when you really need to evaluate the importance of rest. And I know you have some questions for me.
I do. So is it common for people to overtrain?
Yeah, like I just said, I mean, what a great question. A great example is how many of you have been wanting to start a program, a wellness program, whether it's walking, yoga, Pilates, weight training, and you've procrastinated, and then finally you made the commitment, you went into your first class, your first bicycle ride, you are super excited. You actually felt the endorphins of that workout, and you're like, okay, I just did 15 minutes on that bicycle. Tomorrow I'm going to kill it. And the next thing you know is a lot of people's rambunctiousness of wanting to expedite their success on their wellness journey. They shoot themselves in the foot and they don't wean into it. They don't get their body acclimated to it. They end up overtraining, and they end up going actually backwards because you risk injury. So many people, especially beginners, will risk injury, and then all it's going to do is mind screw you because you're going to need more rest, and you're not going to be accomplishing what you want to accomplish.
Oh, it sounds like a fine line to walk.
It's true.
So what are some of the signs if you were to push past your limits and overtrain?
I think a lot of people, owning health clubs for 28 consecutive years, I've heard every excuse on why people don't exercise. But also I've seen so many people, they're like, I'm paying for a personal trainer and I want to be there, or I'm paying for a membership to your health club, Peter. I'm going to be there 5 hours a day. I'm going to be there. You're open 7 days a week. I am going to get my every single penny out of this. Those are the people that end up getting, I call, burnt out. Psychologically burnt out, where they're just at a point where they're feeling like they're in a fog, where they're having a hard time focusing. Injury. If someone's on a walking program and they haven't walked for a long time and they're not stretching properly, they're not resting between workouts, they'll get shin splints where they literally get inflammation right along that shin bone, where you need to ice it, elevate it, and rest it. Take maybe even some anti-inflammatory over-the-counter drugs, but you need to talk to your doctor about that. So most of the problems will happen in two stages: mental burnout and then physical injury. Whether it's a pitcher that loves to pitch and is over pitching, not resting, they're going to have literally rotator cuff problems. Whether it's someone that's playing soccer or someone that's running, hip flexors, IT band, whether it's someone that's working out with weights, they're not going to see the gains. Or when you first start working out with weights, your muscles are actually stronger than the tendons that hold your muscles to the bone. So a lot of times if a person's doing, say, curls, they'll feel their tendons by their elbows, which is the exertion of the attachment of the bicep to your elbow here. Or you'll get carpal tunnel if you're playing tennis or stuff. Rest is so important. It's the only time that you repair.
Yeah, I have that problem when I do my back exercises.
You do. And you have a beautiful physique, by the way.
Thank you. So what happens during rest and why?
Man, you know, and again, rest is probably one of the most understated necessities to a successful physique, to a mind that has clarity, to lowering the risk of injury. When you rest, say you work out, and you're breaking down microscopic cells. Every cell in your body is made up of protein, nitrogen, and then some. So you need a new daily supply because you're depleting protein storage when you work out. If you're not resting, if you're not sleeping, if you're not giving yourself a day rest between that next workout for that same body part, then you're going to go into a catabolic standpoint. You're going to atrophy instead of your body naturally producing natural growth hormones and going into an anabolic standpoint and growing muscle. So as you said before, there's this thin line where you need to be the CEO of your body. And if you're a beginner, then you need to truly know what you're doing, as well as if you're intermediate or advanced. But when you rest, it's the only time, whether you have an injury or whether you're recovering from a run or an anaerobic workout, the only time that you repair is when you rest, and even more so when you sleep. That's when your body is truly going into that deep repair state on a cellular level, and it's mandatory for anyone, beginners, intermediate, or advanced, and even myself.
So what are the benefits of resting?
The benefits of resting is you're giving your body a chance to reset. You're giving your body a chance to heal. As I mentioned, whether you're squatting on a long walk, the next day your legs, they're sore, whether it's from doing leg extensions or biking, it's a lactic acid waste byproduct, natural thing that occurs that your body's trying to get out. Drink tons of water and rest. When you rest, now the cells that were broken down on a microscopic level starts healing, and starts healing even thicker, and that's what creates muscle. And the building block to muscle is protein. So if you don't put that other equation of nutrition in with the repair, in with the rest, it's going to be counterproductive. So it's so important to make sure you rest, make sure you have an adequate amount of protein if you're working out with strength training, so that when you do rest on a cellular level, your body's not only healing, but it's rebuilding more stronger, more elasticity of muscle that's going to help you do all the things you love to do.
Yeah, so basically you're preventing injuries and promoting muscle recovery and growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you recommend? We mentioned beginners, intermediate, and advanced training. What is the difference in training between all that and what you would need?
Great question. A good example is that for a beginner that's working out, say with weight training, they should do a full body workout every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So they're doing, say, 3 sets, 2 exercises per muscle group. And during that day off, their full body is recovering. As you get to intermediate, now you're doing 3 body parts per day for 2 days, and then you rest on that 3rd day. And you start that cycle again because the workload is going up on intermediate. So the next day, instead of training the full body, you're training the other 3 body parts that you just trained the day before. So in intermediate anaerobic training, it will take you 2 days to train the complete body, and you'll be adding more sets. You'll be adding more exercises per body part. And then with intermediate, instead of 3 body parts per day, it's 2 body parts per day. So it takes 3 days to train the whole body one time, and then you rest. So it's 3 days on, 1 day off. But in those 3 days, the first day, 2 body parts, the second day, the other 2 body parts, the 3rd day, the next and last 2 body parts. So really you're getting a lot more rest per muscle group when you're doing advanced, but you're doing a lot more workload.
Yeah. You said intermediate. Did you mean advanced?
Advanced.
Okay.
Advanced is the 2 body parts that take 3 days to train the body once. The intermediate is a 4-day program where you're doing 3 body parts, say on Monday, the other 3 body parts on Tuesday, you're resting on Wednesday, then you're starting that cycle again on Thursday and Friday. On the advanced, you're doing 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 2 days off. The beginners, full body, all body parts, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you're resting in between. And I know it sounds complicated, but it's all about rest and recovery.
It is, but you're still doing cardio all the 5 days a week.
Thank you for saying. Yeah, cardio is a different animal than strength training. So with cardio, medical science, thank God our heart beats 24/7, 365, even when we sleep. So your heart needs more consistent stress on that muscle. Your heart's a muscle, so it can be worked 5 consecutive days out of 7. This is where people get messed up. Some people love that runner's high or that walker's high. They just love
dopamine effect.
Yeah, they love the dopamine, that feel good. The endorphins are just popping. So they're like saying, I don't want to stop at 5 days. I don't need 2 days. Maybe mentally you don't, but physically, your body does. Your body, your legs, your knee joints, your ankles, your IT band, your hips, your lumbar muscles, your core, they're getting pounced on and used and tightened and constricted every time you do a walk, a bike run, or a jog or a run, or even say a jump and rope. So again, 5 consecutive days out of 7. Gold standard, 45 to 60 minutes each cardiovascular session at least 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. Got it?
That's a lot of information.
That's a lot of information. I need a rest. I hope that all of you are retaining some of this. If you need to watch it again, if you have a question, put it in the comments below. You can find us on social media at Peter N. Nielsen, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. If you want to personally email us, it's peter@peternielsen.com. And if you're interested, we have even courses. You could go to Transformwithpeter, and there's a beautiful 12-module program that is just easy to follow, dealing with everything we're talking about, macronutrients and rest, working out, nutrition, lifestyle, and again, it's Transformwithpeter.com is where you could find the course and stuff like that. So the bottom line is that you want to maximize the time that you're working out. You don't want to overtrain. Don't get in your own head and think that you're Superman if you haven't done a walking program for 10 years. And now all of a sudden, the weather's great. You're like, okay, I'm going to kick some booty every day. Rest. Take care of the one model year that God has given you. It's our temple. Be that CEO and give it what it needs. You need enough sleep. You need 7 to 8 hours of adequate sleep. It's the only time that your body truly repairs from an injury or repairs from a workout. You could have Joyce and I could have the best workout, and if we go out and we party at 3 o'clock in the morning, that workout will never be recovered. It will never be maximized. We went through the workout, we burned some calories, but as far as repairing on a cellular, muscular standpoint, not going to happen. So again, I can't emphasize, and thank you for this topic, I can't emphasize the importance of rest. And I'm not talking about being a couch potato, I'm not talking about taking naps every day. I'm talking about respecting on what your body is telling you. If you feel like you're getting a little sore, then just bring it down a little bit. If you do have a cold or you do have sniffles, you can still work out, but work out at 25% of the intensity. Always check and get a good green light from your cardiologist or your general practitioner just to make sure that you are in healthy shape. And I say this to all the people. Most of our audience are not bodybuilders. Most of our audience are people that want to lose 5 or 10 or 15 pounds, that, are parents and they're taking care of their kids and putting themselves last. And maybe they don't have a membership or they're intimidated to go to a health club. All I can say is that take care of your body, because be that walking, talking billboard of good health to your entire family. Joyce and I, it's like our kids, they look at us sometimes like we're 10 cents short of a quarter, because we're saying, even on a school day or something, we're saying, okay, let's take a walk, or let's go on a little adventure, let's go on a bike ride. A lot of times, the way that we present it to them, of course they have a choice, but a lot of times it sounds like they don't have a choice. Like, okay, get your sneakers on, the bikes are outside, let's do it. Once they do it, they enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's how it needs to be. So it starts and it ends with you. Be that CEO of your body. And for all the males out there, be the leader of your household spiritually, and be that coach for your kids. If your kids are having a tough time, or they're needing to be more nutritionally sound, then don't get mad if you're keeping potato chips or frozen pizza or cheese or milkshakes in the refrigerator. They're following you like a TV. So reward yourself. I mean, we love to reward ourselves with snacks and stuff, but we live a relatively clean, healthy lifestyle, and then our children follow that because Joyce is cooking, and this is our lifestyle. So we hope that kind of you receive that, and you could implement that so that anyone around you is going to benefit. But for the selfish people out there, and I say this coming from a source of love, do it. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your spouse. Do it for your kids. Do it for the people that you love the most. Because when they're kayaking, or they're wanting to go bowling or cross-country skiing, or they want to go for a bike ride or shoot hoops or play tennis or hockey, and you're sucking wind, you're the one who's dampening the day. You're the one who's the killjoy, who's taking joy out of amazing memories that can be made. And I'm not saying that in a facetious way. I'm saying that the best wealth you could ever have is your health. And that's what our hope, that's what our prayer is for each and every one of you. So we just hope that you have a blessed coming week. We thank you for tuning in. And I thank you for being such a great partner. Have a great one. God bless everyone.